Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How are you all doing today? What a beautiful day it is here in Redwood City, California. And if you're surprised to see me live today, stick around. I'll share with you folks why I'm back so soon. And it's been a pretty cool past couple of days, and I'll share more about that. I'll tell you one thing that's been really disappointing me is the fact that I keep seeing so much dry brush just right here. Like, we are having one of the most severe droughts in the history of California that we've ever had, and it's just it's pretty sad. It's really sad, to say the least. I mean, as much as I don't like it when it rains, we need the rain, and I really wish it would just rain like cats and dogs for like 2 weeks straight nonstop, so we can get those reserves filled up and get some water on this dry brush and get some more green coming back. But anyway, I hope you folks are having a great weekend so far. My lady and I, despite having some plans that fell through, actually, we've had an amazing weekend. And even though our plans changed, we actually had some fun driving around different parts of northern and central California. And to make a long story short, because I want to get to the topic here, one of the cool things that we did earlier today is we stopped by some of the fruit stands that are in the South Bay / Central Valley area. They have a bunch of fruit stands alongside the what do you call it? The ranches or the fields where a lot of the produce is grown. And I got one of my favorite fruits, watermelon. I'm gonna wait here a second. Somebody's coming. I got some watermelon, seedless watermelon. The prices have gone up at the fruit stands, but they're still a good deal. And you can't beat the quality. I paid $10 for a pretty big watermelon, seedless watermelon. And whenever you buy fruit, especially a watermelon, you want to tap the watermelon, because the firmer the watermelon is, the better it is, the more fresh it is. After a while, watermelons start to get a little sappy, right? And the great thing when you get produce, from a fruit stand, it typically comes off, the fields nearby that fruit stand. And the fruit stands are typically owned by the people that own the fields, right? So you get the real thing as fresh as possible. You're not paying any transportation fees. They're not putting any, preservatives on it. They're not putting any chemicals on the fruit to try to keep it fresh longer. It's just the real deal. It's raw and real. And in many cases, you won't get vegetables that hit your supermarket for a week or two after they're picked. Typically, they try to do it faster, but sometimes it can take up to a week or two. And when, they add those preservatives on there and all that, by the time it gets to your supermarket, it's typically anywhere from maybe at least a few days to a week, even up to 2 weeks old. So my lady and I, we got a bunch of fruit from the fruit stands and some other stuff, and we just had a really fun time. driving around different parts of northern and central California. Some areas she had been to that I hadn't been to, and other areas I had been to that she hadn't been to. So we were both like, sharing with each other, hey, have you been here? Let's go here. Let's drive there. And vice versa. And it was freaking hot, I gotta tell you. It was like over 100 degrees in the valley for the most part. Sometimes, mid to, high 90s, but it was typically 100 degrees plus. And yeah, that's when you keep the windows rolled up and the AC on, but you still get to enjoy the beautiful scenery around you, and yeah, plenty of time to talk. And I love driving. When you're on the road with that special someone, that's like the best time to talk with them, So that is that. And because our original plans fell through, my lady and I ended up spending the night in the Central Valley area. And then, I had picked her up yesterday. She lives about an hour away from me. And I just said, you know what, babe? Let's just drive back to my place. And I know you like it there. And let's go do something fun tomorrow, somewhere in my area. And she's like, that just sounds awesome. And because she's going to be staying with me at least tonight and possibly tomorrow night, her and I may end up doing that stream we were going to do the other night that, ended up not working out. We actually did try to do it, but there was a hiccup in there. And then I did another stream an hour after that stream on Coach Eli 2, my other channel, to explain what happened. Check that out on my other channel, Coach Eli 2, if you want to hear more about what happened. But everything is good between her and I. And it's not going to happen tonight, but if she stays the night tomorrow night, we will probably end up doing that stream on, conflict resolution, how to, handle conflict resolution in relationships, something to that sort. That's what the topic was. So that is that. And I'm back on my trail. I love these walks. I love just getting out here and getting away from it all for an hour or an hour and a half and hanging out with you folks, right? I love this. And even if there are only a few of you here, that's okay. It's not a big deal, I will tell you folks, let me just get the topic here, and, I will share with you folks, why I've just been so cool, calm, and collective lately compared to how I used to be out here on YouTube. Because the way I used to be out here on YouTube when I first came out here as a content creator, as a full-time content creator about 5.5 years ago, was not the real me. I got caught up and was just feeding into stuff and just feeling the need to stand up for myself regarding stupid things that I should have just let go, right? Because that's how, I've been handling things in my real life, at least since my early 30s, when I actually started growing up and becoming a man. Because I think nowadays, before men turn 30, I think they're still learning to be men. And right when they turn 30, right when a man turns 30, this is what I've noticed with even young men to this day, right? Once a man turns 30, he has this oh shit moment, and he's like, wow, okay, I got to get my shit together. What do I need to do, right? And I had those oh shit moments in my early 30s. And I started to really look at myself much more closely. And I was talking with myself, and I was basically saying that I need to give it to myself straight. I can't coddle myself. I can't let myself off the hook easily. I got to sit there and critique myself as harshly as possible so I can really figure out what I need to work on and turn it around for the better. And that's what I did. And it was at that point where I just started to not let the small stuff bother me. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Like if you haven't read that little tiny book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff, I would definitely check it out. It's a great read. And you'll understand more about what I just mentioned, right? Because if you realize that, you're always going to have people disagreeing with you, you're always going to have people trying to get in the way of whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, whether it's a relationship or a business or whatever, right? When you realize that people are just going to be people, you'll learn to not let it get to you no matter what. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. So let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from the San Francisco Bay Trail here in Redwood City, California. This is episode number 316. I believe it's 316, right? And the topic is, you must keep moving forward positively no matter what. One more time. You must keep moving forward positively no matter what. Before I even start talking here regarding how I feel you folks should handle this, I need to first come out and say how I used to handle these situations, right? I used to let every little thing in life bother me. I used to let every single opinion from others bother me. Opinions that came from my family, my brother, my mother, my father, God rest his soul. He hasn't been around for 13 years, but even when my father was around, I used to let their opinions get to me. Friends, co-workers, when I was working in the corporate workforce or the workforce in general, I used to let what my bosses were saying get to me. And like I've said before, and I'll keep saying it again like a broken record, because like I've always said, repetition is the mother of skill. Hearing something over and over again is what's going to allow you to turn that into a positive habit, right? Because repetition is the mother of skill, I'll keep saying the only opinion of yourself that matters is your own. I'm going to keep saying this until each and every one of you understands this. The only opinion of yourself that really matters is your own, right? Now, to clarify again, that doesn't mean you don't value anyone's opinions. You should value, certain opinions that are presented to you in a constructive way, right? So, for example, I'm open to constructive feedback. If somebody is giving constructive feedback or communicating with me in a genuine and respectful and professional way, even if we disagree, then no problem. I will respect your opinion. But if you're going to project your insecurities onto me or attack me in a stupid, BS and malicious way, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm just going to completely ignore that, and you should ignore that too. And that's what I've been trying to help my lady better understand. That's what I've been trying to help other friends of mine understand. Even my mother, have been trying to help her understand that about certain things, that she handles in her life and deals with in her life with her friends and other aspects of her life as well. I'm not going to get too far into that, but I've been trying to get people to understand this one simple concept that'll turn your life around, right? And put you in the most positive mindset possible. You know, if you really truly understand, you know, when I say the only opinion of yourself that really matters is your own. Let me see here. All right, I'm gonna go off the air and come right back just to reset the chat in case it got stuck. I'll be right back. Simmer down. I was just watching one of your videos. Yeah, I saw you commented on one of my videos while I was out of town with my lady. Simmer down. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. I will make it really clear. I'm not trying to accuse you of being a troll, but you know, I know there are some people out there, well, at least I assume I've been paying attention. Some people are still trying to troll me, and it really doesn't bother me. I'm just letting you know, if you're here legitimately and you want to have a legitimate conversation and ask constructive questions or give constructive feedback, even if we disagree, I'm totally cool with that. My rules are simply no trolling, no hate, no attacking. Anything else, no problem. But which video, I'm sure you've probably watched a few of the videos by now, but which video were you watching and what's on your mind? Thanks. You are sharing some good stuff. I am a CPLP and the workplace HR stuff. Oh, you were the one that I was talking about. Yeah, I got your comment, and my lady and I were talking about that. We got your comment before we checked out of our hotel room earlier this morning, and we started driving back to my area. And you were saying that, you know, where's your proof of gender discrimination and all that? And yeah, you were watching, you know, her video regarding her, you know, transformation, life-changing transformation and life story. We got a family with a bunch of kids coming on bikes, so I'm just going to wait here and let them cruise on by. And here's the thing, we did not share that information because for a couple of reasons. Number one, in case her former company is watching, we don't want to share what we have or show our hand. And I know you being in the HR, I think you said you're an HR executive. Oh, you always wondered how to get around the at-will stuff? Well, are you from California? Yeah, you're right about the at-will stuff. You know, there are many states, California is one of them. We are an at-will state, meaning that a company can basically terminate you for any reason at any time. But that doesn't mean they can discriminate against you. So discrimination is not something that's protected, you know, in the at-will statute. But you do have to have proof. You're absolutely right about that. You do have to have proof. And here's the thing. I want to make it very clear that, you know, my lady and I, we are not the type of people that, we're not radicalists. She's not a radical feminist. I'm not a radical man or anything like that. We're two genuine, decent, down-to-earth people that just want people to have a fair shot at everything, right? And just so you know a little bit about my background, you know, in my younger days, I worked in retail management, and retail corporate for 17 plus years. So, you know, I've done HR, I've done district management, I've done, you know, store management, I've done, you know, assistant management, I've done everything, right? And so I understand the system, and I understand what you HR reps are up against, because the truth of the matter is, even if you know that, your managers at a store level are discriminating or have violated company policies against a subordinate, if that subordinate comes to you, unfortunately, instead of doing the right thing, even if there's evidence, and getting rid of the upper manager that the subordinate reported to HR typically terminates the subordinate, because if they agree with the subordinate that there's discrimination or hostile work environment, in essence, that puts the company in a whole world of legal shit, right? This is where the bullshit politics, ma'am, comes into play. And this is what I'm trying to help people work through nowadays, right? So that's what happens. What happens is you have these managers in these corporations that are just doing whatever the fuck they want to do, right? And then they take advantage of people that don't understand the laws and the system. And then they come across someone like my lady and myself that are experienced, right? Yes, I agree. No, I am the CEO of a company, and when we terminate someone, we always use the at-will clause, but I typically have a crap load of paperwork to substantiate the termination. Well, yeah, and here's the thing. And don't mind, I get trolled pretty heavily here, so my apologies that I had to mention the trolling thing to you. Look, the position that you're in is an unfair position, because you have to do more so what's right to protect the company from any, legal issues, right? Even if you know in your head and your heart, ma'am, and you're a lady, I respect you as a hardworking executive woman, right? I'm the kind of guy that can respect women equally, right? Okay? But you have a heart and a soul, right? You probably are a good person, right? And you've probably had to terminate people to protect your superiors and your company at an executive level when you know the executives were wrong and the subordinate was right. And you want to know how that makes me feel as a human being? That to me is unethical business practice. That to me, and I'm not saying that about you. I'm saying that's the bullshit you deal with in the corporate world, right? After hearing your wife's story, I was honestly shocked. Well, she's not my wife yet. She's my girlfriend, but she will be my wife one day. We actually were talking about that today. But no, I appreciate what you're saying there. But I don't know where you're from, but it's funny, like in some states, especially in the Midwest and the South, as long as you're dating a lady seriously, if you're in a committed relationship, guys will call their lady their wife, even if they're not legally married. I won't call her my wife until we're legally married. But it doesn't matter, as long as I love her and she loves me. Like, look, my lady wants to get married and she believes in that. And I'm not saying I don't believe in marriage, but quite frankly, I don't need a piece of paper to have love for my lady. But I think what women really want is a security that their man truly loves them. And when you do it legally, it gives them a sense of security. I totally get that. Our company is national, but I am in Arizona. It was very unfair. Yeah. And so, but let me ask you this. And I understand that you have bills to pay. You worked hard to get to where you're at. And the last thing you want to do is lose your job and get a bad rep in your industry so no one else hires you, right? Here's the thing. In order to keep your job and keep making, I'm not asking you for your salary, but I'm sure you're making 6 figures plus. And in Arizona, it's damn good money. You can get a lot more real estate there than you can get out here in most areas of California. But in order to keep your job, you got to do things that are against your morality. You got to do things that when you go home probably makes you feel shitty, makes you feel like, wow, I really didn't want to do that, but I had to do that for the company because that's what the executives want me to do. I'm an executive. That's what they want me to do to protect the company from liability, even though the company fucked up. The company was discriminatory. The company was creating a hostile work environment. Like when it comes to the story of my lady, I'll just say this. She shared with me what was going on, but she never once complained about it. She never once complained. She just did her work. And when she told me what she was going through, and I compared it to what I used to go through in a similar position when I was an assistant store manager for many retail companies in my younger days, when I shared with her what I went through and what she's going through, I said, look, your boss is creating a hostile work environment. You've gone to him many times and asked him for training because you want to move up to be a store manager, and he keeps brushing you off. He keeps brushing you off. Then you go to your district manager because your store manager won't give you the opportunity you deserve, right? Won't give you the training you deserve, right? So what happens? Now you're going over your store manager's head. You didn't want to do that, but you had no choice. So now you go over the store manager's head, and the district manager now goes to the store manager, and now they're talking, and the district manager and store manager are buddy-buddy. So now they're like, oh, okay, well, she's right. She's come to us, and we've been ignoring her, and you know what? We need to cut her off at the knees now before she gets us for gender discrimination or hostile work environment. That's exactly what happened, ma'am. And I'm not sitting here, I'm not complaining, and my lady's not complaining. To be quite frank with you, she has stock options and 401k, and she's getting unemployment. And to be quite honest with you, she has more money now than she did when she was working. And see, that's the funny shit, right? That's the funny shit about when these things happen. If you know what you're doing and you do the right thing and you have the right help, like I helped my lady figure this out, she's enjoying life a lot more now and has more money to live off of until she gets another job than she was when she was working. One of the ways to ensure success is to provide training and resources for them to perform their job. I agree. This is a basic necessity for performance. Sounds like he was typical middle management. Well, he's a store manager, and basically he's a 55-year-old man. My lady is 47. I'm 48, and he came from another country like Iran. And he's one of those types of guys, ma'am, no disrespect, that is very, very old school. Nowadays women have been liberated. I'm sure, ma'am, I don't have to tell you about that. You're in your position nowadays because of women's lib. Hey, Rosie, how you doing? Welcome to the show. And I respect the fact that you have that job, ma'am. But there are a lot of men out there that are not happy at the fact that women are rising up. And quite frankly, I feel women should have always had the same opportunities as men, as long as women are qualified. If a woman is qualified for a job that was once only known as the job a man would get, and let's say there's a man and a woman that's applying for that same job that was known once only as a job that men would do, right? If the woman's more qualified, she should get the job and get paid exactly the same that the man would have been offered. But again, that's as long as she's qualified. If we're looking at it from an equal rights standpoint, if we're looking at equality, men and women should have the same opportunities, but they should hire the person that's best qualified regardless of their gender or their sexual orientation or anything like that. There should be no discrimination, right? And just so you know my background, man, because I know you're new here, I'm not a big political person, but I'm slightly more on the left. I'm assuming you're a little more liberal than conservative. If I'm wrong about that, my apologies. I'm not an extremist on the left or the right. I lean slightly to the left, but I'm more down the middle. I'm about what makes sense for the best overall aspects of everyone, regardless of your political party preference, right? But when it comes to, the work environment, I've been through a lot. I went through a lot, and that's why when I became self-employed 15 years ago, and I used to sell insurance, man, for 10 years, and I was doing this part-time until I made enough money in my insurance business to be able to reinvest into this business and live off of that money until I make this business profitable. But I'm very, very big on, fair employment. I'm very big on fair housing and fair employment. There's a lot of discrimination going on nowadays, and I'm sick and tired of it. And again, a lot of it has to do with, in this situation, her boss, the store manager, she was his assistant store manager. He's an old school guy, 55 years old, and he's living in the past, living in the days before women were liberated. The days where women were barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, right? No disrespect, but you know what I'm saying, right? When women were housewives, homemakers, right? No, I'm actually far right. Really? I am in financial services. I run a registered investment advisory. Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you something, ma'am. If you're on the far right, if you're a conservative extremist or right-wing extremist, you seem really reasonable. I don't know how I would consider that being far right, because people in my opinion that are either far left or far right are typically unreasonable, especially with people from the opposite party, right? But you're being very reasonable, and I respect and appreciate that. So maybe in my opinion, you're a little bit more on the right, and I'm a little bit more on the left. But I think what it seems like, at least to me, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, I think you're a reasonable person that, just wants what's best for the overall interest of everyone, whether they're on the left or right, down the middle, or whatever, right? Look at people as people. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's how it comes off to me. But my lady hasn't let that affect her life. Yeah, it bothered her. Yeah, she misses her job and misses the people she was working with, but she doesn't miss the hostility. She doesn't miss the discrimination. She doesn't miss, the lack of opportunities that, she's been passed up on because, her boss is holding her back. I pray a lot for patience. Really? Well, that's interesting. You pray a lot for patience. Oh. So you're saying patience as in, people being calm and relaxed and having patience in that way? How did you spell that? Yes, you spelled it in that way I just described it. Okay. I'm sorry. I got my sunglasses on and it's still a little bit bright on the trail right now, even though it's getting later in the evening. Yeah, it's what time? How long have I been on right now? For 30 minutes, 34 minutes? So right now, I'm assuming it's probably about close to 10:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Sun doesn't go down here until about 8:30 or so. I will let you finish your walk. Thank you for engaging. And furthermore, she says, no, with people of differing opinions. Well, thank you for stopping by, Simmer Down. I appreciate it. It was nice to chat with you for a little bit, and that's what these walks are about. You know, people come in and they're reasonable and they're willing to engage in a respectful way, whether we agree or disagree. That's what it's all about. So thank you for stopping by, and you have yourself a great night. And we'll keep you all in the loop. Just to let you know, there will be a case against her former company, and that is coming up. And there's my lady in the chat right now. There will be a case coming up that will be reviewed next month. And we've been waiting for it. There's a lot of red tape when you are filing complaints like this, and it takes time to process it, but our complaint will be reviewed next month. And then once we're able to share more and we have more information, then we'll let you folks know what's going on. She says, you too. Thank you, Simmer Down. Have a great night. Hope to catch you live again. Yeah, no, I'm live all the time. I do at least 4 to 5 of these walks a week on my main channel here, and then I have Coach Eli too on Sensor Live Streams, where I do more in studio stuff there. And then I do some pre-recorded videos on this channel here sometimes. But thank you for stopping by. Have yourself a great night, and we'll see you again soon. Hey, babe, what's going on? How you doing, babe? Welcome to the show. How's my couch feeling? Are you resting? We had quite an eventful past 24 hours. We had a lot of fun though, huh, babe? Did a lot of exploring despite our original plans falling through, but hey, no worries. No worries. Things happen, And I'm good, love. Well, I'm glad to hear that, babe. I just saw you literally an hour ago before I came out to the trail. You must keep moving forward positively no matter what. And we're going to talk about, babe, I'd love for you to keep asking questions. You can engage in the chat and say what you want to say, because you're my partner. You're my business partner. And you know what? Sometimes you and I may have a little spat, even live on the air on the other channel, Coach Eli too. But it's because we're real and we're raw and we love each other. We're not gonna fake things just to try to appease people. But that last show we did, the reason why I shut it down is because I had a moment, and I just didn't feel it was the right time to do it. It was even beyond that phone call that she got in the middle of the show, babe. And when we talked about it, afterwards, and I mentioned it on the stream I did on Coach Eli 2, an hour after I shut down that stream and put it to private. There were some other things that you were dealing with, and some other things that you hadn't shared with me, but the reason why you didn't share them with me is because you didn't want to bring me down or upset me or anything. And it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with you. And you were trying to protect me. And I told you, I'm like, baby, I'm a man. I'm the man here. And it's like, I appreciate you caring that much and wanting to protect me. But as a man, it's my job to protect you. You know what I'm saying? I know you're strong enough to do it on your own. But, it doesn't matter, what era we're living in. I do respect the fact that you're liberated and women are liberated. But look, when a good, strong man like myself truly loves his woman, it doesn't matter, the position his woman is in, equal rights or not. It's part of my natural biology to protect my woman. If not, then why am I with her, right? It was an adventure. She says, oh, yeah. Yeah. And, we'll be enjoying some of that watermelon later tonight. And, we got some other great items from the fruit stand. We also stopped by there's a place called Casa de Fruta, and it's right off of a main east-west freeway called Highway 152, or it's known as Pacheco Pass Road. It's a freeway. It's a 65 zone, and it goes over Pacheco Pass. It's kind of curvy and hilly to get from, you get from like Gilroy, California, which is the garlic capital of the world, and then you can get to the other side by Interstate 5 and the Central Valley area. And so, yeah, we even stopped at Casa de Fruta, and we got some cool stuff there. I even picked up something for my mother. A nice little gift basket with high quality dried fruit and nuts. It's really nice. They have some nice homemade jam of the highest quality, not the Smucker stuff that you get in the store. This is the real deal, huh, baby? So we've got the family back there that is hanging out at the observation deck with all their bikes, and I'm just going to turn around and head back. I'm not going to even go over there. And when they ride by me, then I'll just pull off to the side. Give me a second here. So we're talking about you must keep moving forward positively no matter what. Okay? And I love my woman a lot, but my woman struggles with this quite frequently. And I think many women struggle with this, and even a lot of men struggle. I think people in general struggle with this, right? And I'm here to say that you're not going to win every opportunity that comes your way. And, you can't get your hopes up on a promise, okay? There are going to be people in life that are going to promise you the world, right? And I'm sure each and every one of us have made promises that we haven't kept or weren't able to keep. Maybe it wasn't our intention to not keep the promise initially, but sometimes things just change after you made a promise, and then you have to renege your promise, and it makes you look bad. I get that, but sometimes things change. And it wasn't until I started understanding that people can change their mind all the time. Tiffany M. Don't you think making promises or having Nightbot timed you out, Tiffany M? I don't know why. I really don't know why. It might have been emojis. I don't know. I apologize for that. If you can try to type again what you wrote without emojis and stuff, I don't know. I don't know why Nightbot timed you out for 5 seconds. I don't think you used the block word. Yeah, I don't know what you said that was a blocked word. But I've got a pretty decent list of blocked words. You can try to write what you said again, omitting any words you think may be blocked. But I think you were talking about, not keeping your promises. It isn't a good thing. And I agree with you. But I said our promises and expectations lead to disappointment. Don't they lead to disappointment? Yeah, promises and expectations lead to disappointment. This is the way I try to get people to understand, including my lady. My lady struggles with this every now and then too. Is that, never get your hopes up on a promise, right? Or never expect anything off of a promise until something is happening for you, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a job opportunity or whatever, right? Until it's signed, sealed, and delivered, you can't expect anything. You can't get your hopes up, right? And this is something I used to struggle with in my younger days, especially before I turned 30. Like I mentioned earlier in this show, and I mentioned many times in the past, I'm 48 years old now, and I've dealt with this shit for all my life, so I've learned how to handle it, right? But before I turned 30, or in my late 20s, early 30s, I started to really understand this concept. And when I stopped expecting things, that's when things started to happen for me. Because let me ask you this, babe. Have you heard the phrase, babe, I know you have, just work with me here for content purposes. You know the phrase, babe, good things will come to you when you least expect them, right? Good things will come to you when you least expect them. I keep getting timed out. Nightbot is being ridiculous. Yeah, now she's timed out for 300 seconds. I don't know why. Now you're back on another account. Yeah, I don't know why you're getting timed out, Tiff. I don't know. I apologize for that. Okay. All right, we're gonna pull off to the side and let this family just ride on by with their kiddos. Wow. Give me a second here. I can't even see if I'm getting the plane or not. The sun is right there. Give me a second here. But what I was going to say is that you can't really get to know someone properly with expectations. And now these people stopped right in front of me. I mean, come on. Let's have a little respect here. At least give me some space, for Christ's sake. No, I mean, like I said, you should never, ever, ever expect anything from anyone. But what you should do is set boundaries. So just because, let's say somebody makes you a promise or people keep promising you things, right? All right, I'm getting really distracted, so I'm going to keep walking until I move past these people and then wait for that group of people up there. Holy Moses, man. I'm about to flip my lid, and I'm trying to be calm. Okay, you folks really need to get a move on and start cruising down the other side of the trail and not taking over the whole damn trail. See, I would pass them, but then they'll pass me again with their bikes, so I'm just waiting for them to go. Wow, busy on the trail today. Well, it's one family. With no disrespect, it's a family of Asian immigrants. They're all talking Chinese. And they're just sitting in the middle of the trail, like they own the damn trail. And I know they're not trying to be rude, but I just don't think they really understand the etiquette of being on a trail. Okay, this trail doesn't belong to just you and your family. It's a shared trail, and you got to take other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration. Even when I go live with my selfie stick and camera, when I see people coming, I move off to the side and I give them respect and space, right? Give me a second here. People are so rude sometimes. They do that at Disneyland too. Oh, yeah. Tiff all day says, because those expectations create judgment, and that's all ego-driven thinking anyways, which impedes our judgment. Oh, those are fireworks. I'm hearing like something exploding, and I'm forgetting that we're getting closer to Independence Day. July 4th is right around the corner. And people, even though fireworks are illegal pretty much almost everywhere in California, people are still buying them in the black market. Got a jackrabbit right there. That's beautiful. Looking, hey, bunny. Very nice. Very nice. See, what I try to do here is teach people to not let things get to them, to not expect things, so that way you're not disappointed. And like I said earlier, when you least expect things, that's when things start to happen. When you least expect things, that's when they start to happen for you. And I started making that change in my late 20s, early 30s. You get distracted like me. How do you deal with that? I haven't figured it out personally. Well, the only time I get distracted is when I'm live on the air and I'm on the trail, and you hear things. You have to be aware of your surroundings out here, or you have some people that are just not not showing the best trail etiquette, right? And you just kind of talk about it. Like these walks that I do, this is just myself shooting the shit with my audience, right? There's a topic, and we talk about it in between the distractions, right? And that's what makes it real and personable, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I deal with it. I just don't let it get to me, you know? I used to let things like this get to me, right? I just don't let it get to me. I make a funny out of it, right? Do you get rattlesnakes up there? Oh yeah, but not in this area. I was talking about that the other day. It is very highly, highly unlikely that there are any rattlesnakes around here because it's not warm enough for them. This is right by the water. Now, it's not impossible, but it is highly, highly unlikely that you will see a rattlesnake on the San Francisco Bay Trail. And to be honest with you, I've never seen any rattlesnakes in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've only seen two, and they both have been in the foothills of the Sacramento area, in the areas where it gets really hot. Like there's an area called Auburn, and I've seen two rattlesnakes there. One was a baby rattlesnake, and the baby rattlesnakes are more dangerous because they can't control their venom. And the other one was a full adult rattlesnake. And both times, I was with two different girlfriends. This was over the years. Both times we just turned around and went the other way. Because once you see one, you're going to see more, right? And I'm not saying that we do have them here in the Bay Area. And I've been on most hiking trails here in the Bay Area, even ones that aren't, along the San Francisco Bay. And I've never seen a rattlesnake. I've seen gopher snakes, but gopher snakes are not venomous. Now, gopher snakes, yeah, they can get pretty big. And what they do is they squeeze their prey to death. But gopher snakes are not venomous. And the way you can tell the difference between a gopher snake and a rattlesnake is a rattlesnake has the diamond head and also has the rattles. The gopher doesn't have the rattles. I love the redwoods. They're magical. Yeah. I love Northern Cali. We have so many where I'm at. Okay. Did my lady leave a message earlier? Nightbot is being ridiculous. You still around, babe? I don't know why Nightbot is timing her out. I don't know what word she's using. I don't know. The gopher will mimic the rattlesnake's rattle with its tail. Right, right. Gophers will squeeze their prey because they can't get you with venom because they don't have any. Yes, I'm here. Excellent. So, again, babe, I know you've, with no disrespect intended, I know you've kind of struggled with this. I've struggled with it in the past, and many people struggle with this. You can't expect anything from anyone. Even if people promise you things. I've had everything promised to me. I've had so many people promise me the world, right? And most of the time, they were empty promises, or they changed their mind, or they went a different path. And, in my younger days, that used to bother me. It used to upset me. It used to make me feel like, okay, they wasted my time. They got my hopes up. They got me all excited, right? Or they took advantage of me, right? But I don't look at it that way anymore, right? And I'm not saying that doesn't still happen to this day. It does. And then you may ask, well, then why do you let people do that to you? Well, here's the thing. You got to take chances with some people to get ahead. You need people to get ahead, and you need people to support you and collaborate with so you can grow further. So you have to take some chances. But even when you take the right chances, sometimes even the right chances don't pan out for whatever reason. And you shouldn't let that upset you. You take it with a grain of salt and you just say, hey, look, it just wasn't meant to be. And I always firmly believe that if things don't happen, they don't happen because something else better was meant to happen, right? What can you read to me, babe? What was Tiffany saying that Nightbot timed her out? Can you read to me exactly what she was saying? Because then I can tell you. Well, great channel. Personal growth is a good thing. Nice meeting you too. Well, nice to meet you too. How'd you find out about the channel? I'm just kind of curious. Got somebody coming up behind me. I'm going to come over here and sit at this bench until they pass me. I don't like having people behind me. Oh, there are some. It's interesting, babe. And I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but there've been quite a few people that have been finding out about the channel organically lately and participating in a positive way. And that's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. So I'm going to sit here for a second. He said you gave great personal growth advice. Who was saying that? Well, baby, I understand also that Tiff may not have said anything inappropriately. But what did she say exactly? Can you tell me what she said exactly? Because it might be a block word that I need to remove. Maybe by mistake I added a regular word. I want to know what to remove so she doesn't get timed out every time. Maybe I made a mistake, or so I need to have some information so I can research the issue and fix it, right? All right, let's keep going. It's getting later and later. Yeah, babe. So tonight we're going to brainstorm some new things, right? When I get back, we're going to brainstorm some stuff. And babe, if you end up staying tomorrow night at my place, would you be up for doing that show we were going to do the other day? We're in a better place to do that now, right? You tell me, babe. Now that dude's looking back at me. You see, even men, we don't like it when other men are behind us because even though this is a safe area, you just never know. When you're on the trail, you gotta, even though it's a nice trail, a safe trail, you gotta be aware of your surroundings, you know? People who make promises don't typically have the actions to back it up. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what she wrote and got timed out for, I don't know. I don't know. Unless her username is similar to another username that's blocked. That might be it. I'll have to figure it out. Maybe her name Tiff is blocked or something. I'll have to figure out what's going on. But yeah, babe, what do you say about doing that show tomorrow night on Coach Eli 2? IDK, you don't know? Is that what? Babe, can you be more specific regarding what you're talking about? Because I don't know what you're responding to. What I will say, it is a beautiful night out here. Even doing this walk late in the evening. That's what's great about this time of the year, is that the sun is out later. Because if this was wintertime, I mean, it would have been dark a few hours ago. I don't know about Nightbot. Yeah, I don't know about Nightbot either. I got to figure it out. I'm the one that programs Nightbot on my channels. So I got to figure out what's going on. Because she's not saying anything wrong. She's not breaking any rules. Maybe Nightbot's being fussy. Maybe I need to spank him a little bit. Who knows? But what about the show tomorrow, baby? Would you be open to doing that? We can talk more about that tonight. I'm really glad I came out and did the walk tonight. I always feel so much better when I take these walks, folks. Like, even if I miss a day, like I didn't do my walk yesterday because I was preparing to go down and pick up my lady to get out of town with her. And it was just, it was a very, very busy morning. It's been a very busy week. But even when I miss one day of these walks, I can feel the difference. So, lucky for you, babe, by the time I'm done with this walk and I get back home, I'm going to be so chill and relaxed. Those endorphins are going to be kicking in. We could sit back and talk. And heck, I'm going to even have a beer tonight myself. I myself should have a nice social drink every now and then. I don't drink a lot. When I was younger, I used to drink more. But I will tell you, every now and then, I had a drink last night. I had a Smirnoff Ice last night. I know it's kind of like maybe a foo-foo drink, but I mean, it's still pretty decent. Had a Smirnoff Ice last night, and man, I'll tell you, that was just nice and relaxing. We had a nice king-size bed, baby, and we each had one relaxing cocktail and had a nice sleep. And a beautiful day today. And now we may be back home a little bit earlier than planned, but we still have the rest of this beautiful weekend to get out and do some more exploring and figuring out the next step. My lady and I, when we go out, we brainstorm topics. We brainstorm what is the next move for our business, because my business is now her business. We're equal partners in this. I'm going to sit down at this bench here for a second. Well, maybe not. I ought to just keep on going. There's a person coming behind me, but they're a decent distance behind me. We're going to be all right. So you're saying yes to the show tomorrow night, baby? Babe, can you see the ducks over there? Over there in the area where there's actually some water? My woman, loves animals. I love animals too, don't get me wrong. My woman, it's I don't think the right word is, is obsessed with animals. I don't think that's the right word. My woman emotionally connects with animals. And it was interesting last night. Actually, I think it was this morning after we got up. She saw the ASPCA commercial, the one that's, they've been doing commercials. The ASPCA has been doing commercials for decades. And they have the most emotionally enticing, and they have the most emotional commercials that suck you in so much to open up your pocketbook and rescue those animals. And then they zoom in now with high definition. They zoom in on these animals' sad eyes, right? Whoa, that is a big bunny. Go ahead, bunny. Holy smokes, that is a big ass jackrabbit. That dude walked right in front of me. Wow. Keep going, bro. Did you see that jackrabbit? Anybody? Oh, Jesus Christ. There have been a ton of jackrabbits that just have been popping out of this trail, more so than ever. Whew, man. And fewer cars on the highway. Fewer, no dropouts on the stream. I've got all the cell bandwidth. Interesting. No issues when there aren't that many people on the trail, and then Highway 101 alongside has very few cars. But when there's traffic, they're all sucking up the bandwidth. Folks, get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the trail. Again, today I'm only going to do one side. It's about 3.5 miles. It's going to start getting dark soon. Let me see where the sun is at. Right there. I'm going to pull out to the side over here and wait for the person behind me to pass. So folks, don't get your hopes up too soon. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I mean, I know these are all old school proverbs. These are all old school proverbs that my father taught me. God rest his soul, right? And you may still hear these proverbs nowadays and laugh at them, but they're more true than ever. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't get your hopes up. Don't be dependent on anyone's promises. You gotta wait for things to pan out first. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life, and I want to teach each and every one of you, is that actions speak louder than words. Another proverb that is so old school, right? How many times have we heard the proverb or the phrase, actions speak louder than words? Actions speak louder than words. Okay, that dude went off on the side over there. Another dude came in from this side angle, or this side entrance, I mean, and then started going the other way. All right. I got the trail to myself now. Hey, babe, let me ask you something. How about I pick you up and we go get a little ice cream? We had a pretty decent lunch/dinner on the way home. How about we go get some frozen yogurt real quick? What do you say? Just get out for 30 minutes and we come back. We eat our frozen yogurt. Or you get your sherbet, right? You love sherbet, right? Let's do it. We're all good, baby. We won't be out too long. I love going out with you, babe. You know? I hope my lady's cool about it, because sometimes she's like, I just want to stay in. I'm worn out. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. You still there, baby? Or did you get bored already? You get bored of your of your man shows, right? I wouldn't blame you. I do repeat a lot of stuff, but that's the nature of the business here. That's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of coaching. It's all repetition. It's all repetition. It's also about sharing examples, and it's also about leading by example. Baby, you said yes. What did you say yes to? Am I going to pick your ass up and we're going to get some yogurt or sherbet? You're deciding to be nice and sweet to me today, right? I love my woman. I do. I really do. I laugh because yeah, I say it all the time, and and even the good women get triggered when I say this, but they get triggered because it's the truth. Women are emotional beings. They respond to everything emotionally first, based on how they're feeling in the present moment, right? And then they may reason with logic afterwards, but that's normal, right? That's why guys, sometimes will argue women and not understand why it's not worth arguing women. Because what you guys that argue women don't understand is that women respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. And with women, I've said it before, but I haven't said it in a while. With women, you don't get time for good behavior. It's not like, if you go to jail and you have a 20-year sentence and then, you're behaving perfectly for 10 years, you might get released early, right? For good behavior. With women, With women, you don't get any time for good behavior. It doesn't work that way. You can do everything right for 10 years and fuck up on the first day after your 10-year anniversary, and then you're gone. Those previous 10 years don't matter. Why? Because they respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. Doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what may happen tomorrow. What matters is how they're feeling right now. With men, it's like, we can look at what happened in the past. We can look into the future, right? I'm not saying women aren't capable of doing this, but a woman's natural biological essence is emotional based on how she's feeling in the present moment all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365, right? So I keep telling the guys, it's not worth arguing women. Don't argue. It's not worth it. It's stupid, right? Don't argue. I don't argue my woman. Now, sometimes I got to put my foot down if she's being ridiculous. You see, my woman is good to me. My woman has never done me wrong. My woman has never, ever done me wrong, right? What? All right, we're back live. You know what, baby? Here's what I think we should do. Let the watermelon chill overnight. Get it really nice and chilled. We'll get ice cream tonight. You can stay tomorrow, and we'll have watermelon tomorrow. And then I'll drive you back to your home. Like I'll drive you back. We'll leave my place at around late morning or so at some point. Look at that no in caps. Is that no to no ice cream, baby, tonight? No ice cream for you. Like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. No soup for you. No ice cream for you, right? Yeah, but I'm kind of tired of the Buster bars too. I had another Buster bar already. Like, I think it was on Thursday night. We'll figure it out by the time I get home, baby. It's not a big deal. If you don't feel like going to get some frozen yogurt or sherbet, then it's all good. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. I just threw it out there. When I got to the trail, it was about 77 degrees. It feels like it's about 69 or 70 degrees right now. I mean, like, I can't ask for any better walking weather. Even, this late in the evening, the sun's still out. It's just absolutely beautiful. So, folks, like I've been saying, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't expect anything from anyone. Okay? And learn to understand that when you least expect things, that's when things happen, right? And that's how I've always reached success. When I least expect things and just don't overthink things, that's when I move forward in life. That's why when it comes to this YouTube channel here, my main channel, and then my secondary channel, Coach Eli, 2 Uncensored Life Streams, I used to overthink it regarding the numbers, regarding how many views I'm getting. I used to overly worry about the trolls, and I let that get to me, and I just stopped worrying about it. And I started more so focusing on my content and what I want to talk about, right? And when you're able to focus on you and just keep pushing forward, no matter what, right? Just like the top of the stream, you got to keep pushing forward no matter what. Keep pushing forward in the positive way no matter what. Eventually, things will just happen when you least expect them. But you got to keep moving forward. And you can't expect anything. You can't get mad if things aren't moving forward fast enough for you, right? Because things are going to move forward when they're meant to move forward. When things are meant to be, they will just happen. If people overthink things and they try to force things, then it will never happen because it wasn't meant to happen. Things that are meant to happen will just happen in due time. In the meantime, you just have to have patience. Don't overthink things. Don't expect anything. Just keep being you. And the more you keep being you and you're true to yourself, you'll see how much your life will turn around and how everything will just fall into place. I don't know how much better I can explain it. I'm about to start heading out of the trail here. Please get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in about 5 minutes or less. I just really love this area. I love walking this trail most days. Again, in the future, folks, I'm going to do my best to... Whoa, is that a duck? Underwater? Let me see. See if I can even zoom in. It just went underwater. I see it right there in the middle. Like, if it... Oh, here it is. Here it is. Where'd you go? There you went. Wow, look at that. He's bathing. I assume it's a he. That is so cool. I'm catching this live. Wow. Even the digital zoom is good on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Wow, it's amazing. Look at how wide angle of a shot this is. It's just amazing what these phones can do nowadays. There's somebody coming onto the stream. The duck is going to the right. But look at this wide angle shot here. Look at how wide a damn smartphone can take video. Just amazing. Now, I can't switch to any other cameras on the rear camera of the iPhone. Okay. There's a couple people just popping off the trail, or one's coming on, one's popping off. All right. Yeah, that older guy, must be in his 80s. He was looking at me. He's like, "What you doing there, Sonny? What is that thing you're holding?" It's all good. We got people coming. More so. You see, I don't even know why people ride their bikes on this trail. It's not long enough. See, this trail literally is, if you go on the long side like I went, it's about 3.5 miles. If you walk it, you're going to burn about 300 to 400 calories, 350 to 400 calories walking it. If you bike it, you're going to probably burn 100 calories, right? It's not a big benefit. In order to get a good workout biking, you've got to do 3 times the biking that you would have done in the same mileage walking, right? So, I mean, I can understand it's a fun trail. It's a dirt. And yeah, you can go out a mile and a quarter and back, a mile and a quarter. Sorry, not a mile. No, it's a mile and 3/4. Sorry, it's a mile and 3/4 out and a mile and 3/4. Mile and 3/4 out and a mile and 3/4 back. So it's about 3.5 miles total. But you're going to literally finish that in probably 15 minutes or less. Anyway, folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in just a few minutes. My lady doesn't want ice cream. She wants me to come home and have snuggle time, right? Got some people coming on the sidewalk, so I'm taking a detour. Going to be going through the brush. So more than likely tomorrow, we'll be doing that stream on Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams that we tried to do the other night, but it just didn't work out. And my lady and I, she wants to go and do some exploring in my area, depending how long we're out there for, or if we actually go. I may do another walking stream on this channel tomorrow, but more than likely not. But more than likely we will be doing that stream tomorrow night. And if something changes, I'll update you folks on my community tabs on this channel here, the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, and the secondary channel, Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams. If you haven't subscribed to Coach Eli 2 Uncensored Live Streams, a Nightbot's been sharing the link every 7 minutes, or just go to youtube.com/Coach Eli Uncensored. And like I've been saying, probably going to change the name of that channel. Probably going to get rid of the Uncensored Live Streams portion and name it something else. Maybe it'll just be Coach Eli 2, Elias Melas. Maybe keep it simple. That way, the search engine optimization can be on both channels. It can be very close. I mean, that might be the best idea. So I'm going to shut this down for a second. I'm going to reset the chat. I'm going to come back on the air and make sure I didn't miss any messages. So if you have anything left to say it now, and I'll be back in a few to wrap this up. All right, we are back live. We're back live. Been on for 88 minutes. It's an hour and 28 minutes, right around there. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to my lady, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, for being here. Thank you to Tiff, that was here earlier. Sorry for the issues with Nightbot. And thank you to Simmer Down, the lady that lives in Arizona, that is a COO for a major company or company out there that has dealt with terminating people in similar ways that my lady was terminated. So it was a pretty interesting stream. If you missed it, go back and check out the replay, because myself and Simmer Down, the lady that uses the username Simmer Down, we shared some pretty good information. With that being said, have yourselves a great night, and see you all more than likely tomorrow. And as always, be good to each other.